Hello, friends. I have a very urgent warning for everyone to immediately pay attention to, because the reality of it is when the system fails, when the banks fail, when there is a true panic in the market, there is not going to be any pre-announcement. There's not going to be any warning. You're simply going to go to the bank and your money won't be there, or you won't have access to it. And that's exactly what is happening right now. Isn't that right, Chris?
I just logged into my Bank of America account. The message was, some deposits may be temporarily delayed. Some deposits from 11/3 may be temporarily delayed due to an issue impacting multiple financial institutions. Your account remains secure and your balance will be updated as soon as the deposit is received. You do not need to take any action. Well, I got news for you. I don't trust anything in that message. And I know for certain, based on previous experience, that when banks are failing, institutions are failing, they're not going to go out there and let you know.
I received the same message last night. I logged into my app, my Bank of America app, and there, full frontal, the whole screen, was the message that there were issues with deposits on 11/3. And it wasn't just that one bank. It wasn't just Bank of America. It was basically all the banks through this ACH problem, this human error at ACH. You do not need to take any action. Well, I got news for you. I don't trust anything in that message.
They don't want to panic the market. The insiders, the institutions, the folks who run the show, they don't want to panic the consumer by telling them the truth. But the reality of it is, right now, our economy, our government, our money is not safe. And that's just the brass tacks of where we're at.
Chris, I trust your opinion on money and finance and what's going on with the economy. What do you think is happening right now?
Now, I did a video a long time ago, almost a year ago, talking about the liquidity crisis that will destroy the housing market. And every single prediction that I made in that video over the course of the last year has come true 1,000%.
Do you think this is going to have an impact on the housing market?
And it's not because I'm so smart. It's not because I'm an analyst, which I'm not, or an economist, which I'm not, or a CPA, which I'm not, or I'm not a financial advisor anymore, although I was a stockbroker for 20 years. I experienced bank runs in real time, and I watched the system fail in real time. And I traded around all of this systemic failure in real time, and I did it for almost 20 years. Every single market event that dominated the global market economic cycle, I've been exposed to. So I don't say this stuff to pound my chest about how smart I am.
Not Chris, go ahead, pound that chest.
I share it because it's happening right now.
I'm getting a lot of different reviews and mixed signals from a lot of different YouTube channels and YouTubers themselves about what's really happening in the housing market. We want to buy soon, but right now we're actually a little gun shy.
And the fact that I just received this message from the bank, I would encourage you, log into your bank account right now. Is your money there? Is your deposit safe? Because I just deposited a check and it hasn't hit yet. Now, I should take assurance from the fact that the bank, the institution, is protected by the full faith and credit of the United States government.
But Chris, what do you think about the Treasury's national debt?
But the Fed will hopefully step in if they can, but the Fed is broke, the Treasury's broke, and I know that. So I'm still recovering, and you can see my daughter's in the background.
Oh my gosh, she's such a cutie.
It is factually true that this year we've had bank failures. We've had bank runs. Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank failed in March of 2023. And I watched, there she is, doing big things, getting stuff done. But I watched in real time as the system failed and the banks failed. And I watched Washington Mutual collapse in 2008. And the gurus, the market, the smartest people, the analysts that are paid commentators to tell people the truth.
But aren't they just paid actors? I mean, are they really telling us the truth?
Jim Cramer in particular.
I don't really trust Jim Cramer. I literally almost do the exact opposite of what he says.
Was on television, on Mad Money, and he was telling everyone, the public, there's nothing to be afraid of. Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, they are good. They are solvent. They are good buys here. as the market is crashing and it's clear that the market doesn't believe that these are safe investments, they don't believe these are viable options, the market is always right. And the market is a leading indicator as to what the reality of the condition of most companies are. And there are plenty of zombie companies out there right now. But if you go to the bank, you expect that your money will be available for withdrawal. And if you have a lot of money in the bank, which, pro tip, if you've got over $250,000 of cash in any bank, you need to ensure that you don't have more than that in one institution. You need to ensure that your money is spread out across multiple banks and is protected by the FDIC.
Don't keep all your eggs in one basket.
And while I don't believe the FDIC will be able to save everyone forever, it is the only game in town for now. But at least your deposit is going to be insured up till that threshold.
Chris, doesn't the FDIC protect all deposits?
There are lots of businesses and lots of institutions and lots of investors that have way more than $250,000 in one account, in one bank. And if that's true, well, then they're at risk. Since then, the banking system, the Treasury, has done things to protect and bail out many of these institutions and many of these deposits. And that is supposedly a pro of living in the United States. Unfortunately, the Treasury's been writing out checks that its ass can't cash for a long time. And right now, they are simply issuing new treasuries to pay the debt off the old treasury, off their old debt that they can't possibly pay.
You mean like the stimulus checks Meet Kevin was talking about?
The United States is broke. And so when I logged into my bank and I saw that the funds, this warning that my deposit may not show up, may not be there, well, that doesn't exactly give me the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah, tell me about it. Kevin and I made a video about it last night.
So I am concerned. And when there is concern, which anybody who logs into their bank account right now and sees this warning, because it's affected multiple financial institutions, anybody who's not concerned is an idiot, because of course you need to be concerned. But what hasn't happened yet is panic. And when there is panic, and there will be, there is going to be a massive run on the banks and in the system, and there will be a liquidity crisis of epic proportions, which will not only destroy the housing market, but it will also destroy every other market that we are connected to, that exists. And it's going to be global. It's going to be worldwide. And I just did a video with Jamie Dimon warning about some of the things he sees in his own business. And he just sold 1 million shares of his own stock.
Yeah, he's hiding something.
Which tells me that his actions are speaking louder than his words. There is obvious risks that are global and they impact every facet of our economy. And even now, the latest bill I just read, or actually shout out to the All In podcast, but the government is trying to regulate AI with the most ridiculous set of governances and rules that exist. It makes no sense, but they're trying to limit the ability of free market capitalism and really the productivity and the profitability of software companies. And software companies really are the only unregulated industry that there are right now, that's out there right now.
That's crazy, because I just read an article about AI doing insider trading deals.
It's the place where entrepreneurs can go out there and not have the government basically scrutinize every move they make.
And anytime the government steps in and starts to regulate and starts to be the compliance officer for business, well, then that business eventually fails and other countries will go out and dominate us.
And that's what's happening. It's happening right now.
Chris, are you worried about that check that you deposited today?
And I know that, at least in this isolated incident, I do believe that the deposit that I made will eventually land and it will be secure and it will be in my account. But I know that's not going to last forever. I know at some point there will be a liquidity crisis because banks are not in the business of sitting on money. Banks are in the business of lending money. So if your expectation is the bank is sitting with a massive amount of cash for withdrawal on demand, well, I got bad news for you. That's not the case. That's not how banks run. That's not how banks make money. They're out there lending the money for a rate of return. And so when there is demand for consumers to get their money back because they're scared, because they're spooked, like I am right now, I'm concerned about this warning that just came out. Well, if everybody shows up at the bank and says, hey, I want my money back in the form of a withdrawal, well, that bank will be insolvent within hours. And it happened with SVB. It happened with Washington Mutual, but it's happening as we speak right now. And I'm concerned because the reality of it is, we are looking at a very different landscape in the economy. We are looking at a very different landscape in terms of the buyers who are willing to buy right now in today's housing market. Most folks are opting to rent rather than buy because it's cheaper. And having gone through the recession, the COVID recession, having gone through the financial crisis of 2007, 2008, having gone through the dot-com bubble burst of 2000 and 2002, having lived through, although I was not a financial advisor when it happened, but I remember Black Monday. I remember my dad coming home from work in the banking industry and being completely shook by what happened.
Man, that had to be terrible.
The market crashed by 22% in one day. Black Monday, no bueno, but I remember it. And before that, it was the 1980s recession. Before that, it was the 73-75 recession, which was triggered by the oil crisis due to the OPEC oil embargo. And then before that, it was the Great Depression. Now, that was the most severe economic downturn in United States history, which began with the stock market crash. And then it became an overexpansion of credit, overproduction, and then a severe drop in consumer spending, which led to widespread bank failures and massive unemployment.
That's what I was thinking, sounds a little bit like what we're experiencing today.
Well, if that doesn't sound to you like exactly what's happening right now, well then I don't know how to help you, but I got news for you. If the government was not playing games with the economic numbers the way they are, and if we had not stimulated the economy the way we have and bailed out and printed money the way we have over the last 15 years, we'd already be in a depression. We are in a depression. There is no middle class. And prior to the Great Depression of 1929, it was the Panic of 1837, which nobody remembers because nobody was alive and therefore it doesn't exist, right? Well, wrong.
So basically what you're saying is we're running out of road to kick this can down.
Well, I suspect that volatility season is back, and the Panic of 1837 is going to look cute in comparison to the panic of what's coming in the future. Now, I don't say this to scare you. I share this to prepare you, because if you are prepared and you are prudent, disciplined, responsible, and know your numbers, know your financial situation, know that volatility is coming and there will be widespread ability for you to capitalize on generational opportunities where best of breed companies are trading at fire sale discounts and real estate is trading at fire sale discounts.
So what you're saying is the crash is coming.
If you are capitalized the right way and have access to funds and still have credit, good credit, you'll be able to set yourself up for generational wealth. And right now in the commercial real estate space, there are properties trading in San Francisco that are trading on fire sale as we speak right now. And I heard an argument made that some of these buildings, which were valued at $60 million not that long ago, and now are being priced at 30 million. Well, there are no buyers at 30 million. So are those properties worthless? Because many times the first buyer, the first owner doesn't make money. The second owner comes in and thinks they're going to save the day and thinks they're going to make money. But typically It's the third owner that actually makes money in the deal in those types of commercial real estate plays. And
So really what you're saying is the crash is coming to commercial real estate.
I don't know. I am not a market timer. I'm not an analyst. There's lots of things I'm not. But I do know when the bank is giving me notifications that my deposit is not safe and it is a widespread financial institution occurrence, I know that more trouble is coming.
Thank you, Chris, for having me on and for answering all of my questions.
Now, I hope you found this content valuable. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. If I can ever help in any way, please reach out because I would love to help.
Thank you guys for being here. I hope you found something informational, educational, heartwarming. No, I don't know how. Hopefully you guys liked what was in here and it was helpful in some way, shape, or form.
And check out my next video because I suspect you will love it a lot.
Please remember that I love you all immensely and I will see you on the next one.
Until next time, peace.